What is good, peoples, and welcome back to the videos. Today is the day that I go and install these coilovers on the Cobalt. From the last video, if you would have seen, I just did a basic unveiling to see what type of coilovers we got. Now today I'm gonna have to go install them at the shop on base. But first thing I'm gonna do, since they didn't come with top hats, I'm gonna have to take the top hats from my stock Cobalt just to make sure they're good. I believe the aftermarket one that I already have on my car from the Megan coilovers will work, but I'm gonna take the stock ones off just in case. So I got the top hats off. Looks like everything is good to go. Now I'm getting ready to head to the shop. Hopefully, battery charger. Hopefully, it's pretty empty, or it's enough for me to get in there. Because sometimes you get there, it's no space. But I'm about to go down there and figure it out. If not, I'm gonna have to come back to the house and do it there. Hey, so remember, if you're ever working on your car, make sure you get all your tools out from the engine bay. I was working on my car, and I had my flashlight, because it was getting dark, I had my flashlight inside the engine bay, and totally forgot it was in there. I took my car to the Chevy dealership. They did their run through to confirm it was the coilovers, and what do I see sitting on my passenger seat was my flashlight that I left in the engine bay. Luckily, I wasn't driving my car anywhere. I barely moved it when I started suspecting that it was the coilovers. And the magnet is pretty strong, so where it was sitting, if that thing would have dropped, probably would have got caught up in the belts and messed something up. So make sure you recover all your tools. So right now I'm at the shop. I was able to get in. I already took the tires off, got everything up. Now for the rear, I just have to take off one bolt, two bolt, and that'll be done. And drop out the spring, so that's pretty easy. On the front, I have to take out the end-link bolt. I'm gonna pull that's all shredded. I'm gonna pull the brake lines out, or remove those, and then you should be able to take off one bolt, and then the second bolt down here. Once I get that out, I already loosened the bolts. I already loosened the bolts up top, so once I do that, it should pop right out. I should be good to go to change it. Alright, so I removed those bolts from the bottom. Now I just gotta take the bolts off the top hat. It should fall right out. So this is like 9 years. Look at the corrosion. 9 years, and that's where it was leaking from, right there. Look at all the oil leaking out. So I'm gonna get ready to change these out, and yeah, go from there. We'll do a size comparison real quick though. Alright, so there we go. The Raceland versus the Mega Mid, about the same. Springs look a little heavier, but other than that, they're about the same. I got the top hat right here that I'm gonna put on, and yeah, switch it over. So I just finished up at the shop. Well, didn't really finish. Hold on, camera's kind of wobbly. Yeah, so the staff was just pushing me to hurry up, and because they're like, hey, where we close at? They close at 4. Right now it's 3:56. It was 3:30. They was trying to get me out of there. So I was on my last coilover on the rear, and I couldn't even finish because they pretty much kicked me out. I'm like, dude, it's only 2 bolts I have to take out. And they're like, nah, man, we got to send these reports. We got to go. I'm like, well, god dog. So I have one coilover or one coilover that I have to take off. So I'm gonna just do that when I get to the house. Hopefully it won't be too hard, because I didn't even use any air tubes when I did the rear. But yeah, they kicked me out. So I'm heading home right now. The suspension is, it feels a little bouncy. And that could be just because they're new. My other ones I had on there for, I don't know, 9 years or so. So they could have just been worn and the springs was bad. But this one feels a little bouncy. I think the lower, even when I was just looking at with just the one coilover put on, it looks a little bit lower in the rear. But I don't know, we'll see. Right now, like I said, it's 3 minutes to 4. Once I get home, I'm gonna take the other side off and have it knocked out, because it's actually not that bad outside today. So yeah, I could have did it at home. Cost me $42 for 3 hours to work in that shop. This is ridiculous. This is the highest auto skill shop that I've ever been to on a military installation. Usually they charge you like, I don't know, $3 or $4 an hour to use the lifts. This place charges you $14 an hour. They do it. They set you up because they say on the sheet it shows $7, but in small print it's like $7 per 30 minutes, which is, or per half an hour, which is silly to me. But whatever. Probably won't be using those guys too much. So yeah, all right. Once I get to the house, I'll start the other install. All right, so now I'm back taking out the last coilover. And this one's really easy. It's just taking out one bolt and then taking out that bottom bolt. And then once you get that out, you'll be able to pop out. Can you see? Yeah, you'll be able to pop up the spring right there. And once you pop that out, it's just putting a new one in there. So this one is really easy. I really didn't show that much at the shop, actually, because like I mentioned before, I was pressed for time. So, but this one is easy. Really takes you. I think this took me maybe 10 minutes to set up. So 10 minutes and taking it off and be good to go. All right, so man, it took me a minute to get that spring out. That thing was a beast. But you can see right now, got it in there. Got the coilover or the strut back in there. So now I'm about to button it down and yeah, put it back together. And then tomorrow I'll come back, because it's getting dark out here. So tomorrow I'll come back and we'll do a walk around.